Power to the truth. Once again, this is Peter S. Lopez, a Capita de Aztlán, and transmitting from Sacramento, California, Milky Way Galaxy. My priorities today are healing myself, Healing, and helping others who are sincere about getting involved with radical recovery from drug addiction. And raising consciousness in the realm of radical politics. I am convinced that as a species we are on a collision course towards extinction. When I look at the world, when I look at the mass fear, the mass apathy, the powers of evil forces working against us, the low level of consciousness among the people, they are headed towards extinction. On an individual basis, without advocating individualism, in the sense that we should be concerned about our collective unity, we need to be realistic, not necessarily optimistic or pessimistic, but realistic. And each of us need to work in our own area, our own environment. Like, for example, there's a big difference between those who are online on the internet and those who are offline on the internet. Generally, those who have online access to the internet tend to be more aware and, in a way, more intelligent because they're exposed to more information. So we need to bridge that gap between those online and those offline. Actually, the government should provide free internet access for the people, period. And I'm not sure we even need this government now. It doesn't meet the needs of the people. It focuses on building up the military-industrial intelligence complex, and is evil. Evil rules the world. So between here and death, I think we should think about how should we live on a day-by-day basis. And I want to get more involved in my healing in terms of meditation, yoga, and working out, and help others who are suffering from drug addiction. I worked with a group called CASA, Christians Against Substance Addiction, for over 10 years on a volunteer basis at the Salvation Army here in Sacramento. And I've gotten away from that. I realized that many people, they switch from, say, using harmful drugs in this psychotropic psychiatric medication. You know, a few years ago I was taking Seroquel, and I realized that I was getting kind of confused in the mornings, and so I weaned myself off that. So now I don't take any psychiatric medication. I don't do dope. I don't drink booze. So to me, the whole drug war is a big part of what's going on in the world. Millions, if not billions of people are trying to affect their consciousness. So they get involved in activities that can be harmful. And we cannot see the fascist drug war as just a side issue that doesn't involve us who are involved in positive, progressive political activity. You know, if so-and-so didn't show up to the meeting because he had a hangover, we need to examine that and to be fully active, conscious citizens, including involvement in electoral politics. Some are dead set against it, yet they forget that politics is part of life. And the minimal level of citizen involvement should be to be aware of what's happening, to register to vote, and to vote on election day. Knowing that it's only a tactic, because the whole electoral system is already broken. It's already corrupt. The whole electoral college has flunked. Now we have a fascist, neo-fascist in the White House, a psychopath in President Trump. And whether you agree with him or not, the objective fact is that he is the president. He was elected into office over the fascist Hillary Clinton. Now we're in a situation where there could be a World War III. You have World War I, World War II. There could be a World War III that could involve Russia, China, and the USA. And so I say we're on a collision course towards extinction because if that war breaks out, we might as well kiss our ass goodbye. So before then, I want to try to live life on life's terms, help others in my environment work on their own spiritual progress, and kind of have a priority towards helping those who are sincere get involved in recovery from drug addiction. I go to NA meetings here at the Shasta, and the whole NAAA approach has become cult-like, C-U-L-T, cult-like. So we need to see that in order to really get well, we just can't work on our own personal sobriety and recovery, but we need to change our environment. Change, C-H-A-N-G-E. We need to change. Remember the serenity prayer. Having the courage to change the things we can. And so nowadays, say, instead of me chasing the dope bag, or instead of me trying to scrounge change for a quart of beer, I'm online and I post about the news, and in my own individual way, I try to expose people to the news and raise consciousness. If you look at the big picture, in terms of what's going to happen in the future, besides the extinction possibility, I see the urgency of global revolution. Global, not just local. And the key to this is going to be the internet. Of course, now Google may become more fascist in terms of its control over the internet. So we need to be aware that Empire has the kill switch. They can turn off the internet, working through ISPs, or internet service providers. Here now I have a Wi-Fi, so I'm not on AT&T or Comcast, so my internet connection is real poor, real weak. But I do what I can with what I have, and I just stick it today, like, you know, looking at the big picture. What are my priorities? What do I need to share? And among them was my priorities. So, I see, first, healing myself, helping to heal others, of helping those who are sincere get involved in the whole recovery process. And then in the realm of radical politics, helping to raise a mass revolutionary consciousness. And sometimes our priorities can shift. You know, where one is more, we need to emphasize on one more than the other. And I'm against individualism in terms of the individual first. I believe we must be concerned with the majority, the masses, all around the world. And not be into me first. Be concerned with the well-being of the masses. And there's so much we need to brainwash ourselves about. Many of our brains are baffled. Many of our brains are mixed up. Many of our brains are not working properly. We have poor cognition. Remember that word, recognition. Real that word, recognition, is cognition. First of all, how we perceive the world through our sense organs. See, hear, smell, taste, touch. And the sixth sense to me is intuition, or ESP. So we need to really see reality as it is, not get confused. Like, I love David Icke, and I check out his analysis about stuff, but I'm convinced that we live in what I call connected reality. All our realities are connected. Like, I'm in a little room here at the Shasta Hotel, and about a block and a half away is the California State Capitol here in Sacramento, which is a nerve center for the whole empire, which is connected to Washington, D.C. You know, so all these elements and institutions are connected and interconnected. There's no out there. Because reality is connected. Reality is interconnected. And as far as it may seem, we're connected to the cosmos. Many people can't even see beyond their own plate when they have a meal. They don't worry about the empty plates of other people. If you have a cup of coffee, many people don't worry about if your neighbor has a cup of coffee. See, we become very selfish, individualistic people. A lot of that's based upon fear that we're going to run out. So I think it's important to first of all, be humane, have care, concern, and compassion for all people, regardless of race, color, sex, ethnic identity, to see that common collective consciousness and broaden our circles of compassion. Naturally, some, their circle of compassion may be first of all their family, and then their neighbors, their local neighborhood. And all along the way we need to see that all of this is interconnected. If you can, if you're on Twitter, check out Guy McPherson. Guy McPherson. McPherson. And when I read his stuff about, in his videos, about how screwed we are on a global level, it kind of got me down for a couple of weeks. And I realized, like, at the rate we're going, we're not going to make it. This so-called civilization is more like a collection of warring tribes. The situation is in the process of collapsing. We hear about every day about, the U.S. dollar trying to dominate the whole world economy, and they want to digitalize the world economy, and corporate capitalism rules the world economy. We are directly and indirectly ruled by corporations. And when I see the low level of consciousness of the people, when I remember that having no political awareness, like having no soul. You don't understand your reality that you live in. And then we get sidetracked. Is this a reality? Or is this a hologram? Or is this computer simulation? I am in reality, here now. What I see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and comprehend with my intuition. That brick wall behind me is a brick wall. If I bang my head against it, it will cause pain. So don't get lost. The whole thing of, say, accession, rising up magically, and like our pineal gland is going to like expand, and we're going to be all magically just be up to a higher level of consciousness. Don't bet on it. See, so there's a lot of wrestling going on. There's a lot of struggles going on in terms of consciousness. And you should know that a lot of what we're exposed to on the internet is controlled by corporations. I think like 6 corporations did the research. And work on yourself. Ask questions. Seek the truth. Get your priorities straight. Now, for some, it could be, you know, if you're, depends on your existential individual situation. If you have a family that you got to take care of, you know, your priority is going to be, still going to be your health. So you can go to work and be a good wage slave. Or if you're into sports, it's good for your health. Are you into local community functions? What happened to the PTA? You know, so you're going to have different priorities. I'm saying, for me, it's working on my healing, helping people get involved in recovery, and raising consciousness through politics. You need to figure your stuff out for yourself. All I can do here is just offer guidelines. Knowing that the cognition of many people is crippled, clustered. Say the attention span of people. They could have ADD, attention deficit disorder. They're doping, they could have OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. For me, those so-called disorders are not operational in my life. They're not operational in my life. I call those issues tendencies. So I have a tendency to get sidetracked, and so I woke up today thinking that I need to really keep my priorities in mind throughout the day. And so deal with ordinary stuff like washing clothes and being aware of my finances. I'm a poor man in terms of material wealth. And I'm working on what I can with what I have. So we need to have a clear mind, clear our heads out, because they brainwash ourselves. Because we've been subjected to so much crap over the decades. Like we say, well, you know, you listen to that guy, he could brainwash you. If you look at people's minds, how they live their lives, they're so screwed up that we do need to be brainwashed. Words are so relative. Propaganda. Propaganda is the dissemination of information that tends to maybe go in one direction or another. So propaganda could be reactionary, propaganda could be revolutionary. So you need to examine the context, what you're checking out. Have an analytical mind, or what's called critical thinking. Though I don't think it's healthy to walk around with critical attitude towards whatever you're hearing or being exposed to. Analyze, check it out. You'll see the factual analysis of actual conditions. The factual analysis of actual conditions. And come to your own conclusions. Use your mind. Use your soul. Checking out my screen here. What are your priorities? What really matters at the end of the day? Ponder upon that today. What are you doing with your life? Your time of decay may be distant, but you will surely decay. Catch the pattern. Get your priorities straight. Analyze how you should use your time, your energy, and your resources. Try to find as much joy, love, and inner peace as you can, so that you're not all stressed out, so that you're not all nervous monkey mind, so that you're cool, calm, and collected. It's the way I see it, the way I want it. So prepare to share this and keep mind we're on a course to extinction. So you ought to figure out about how should you be living your life now. I'm going to continue to help people as I can. I've been involved in politics and stuff for over 40 years. 65 now. So, what works for me may not work for you. You're different. You're not me. I'm not you. So, take my advice in general terms. And do what you can to be in tune with your psyche. P-S-Y-C-H-E. Google it. Be in tune with your environment. Seek harmony. Seek a balance between the mind, the body, and the soul. And be open. Be open to intelligence to replace your ignorance. If we know everything, we can learn nothing. Parts of the truth. Have a blessed day. Nada más.